Say sorry for what happened.
Oh, no apologies necessary. I mean, you guys got to get one in, so
it's a long series.
It is.
I'm still scared, but
you should be.
Pretty fucking good though.
Oh, I would be, if I were in your shoes, I would be out of my mind. I'm glad we're doing this actually tonight. I think because I think it's like let the emotions die down and just kind of think a little clearly. So and let the after I've gone through the Twitter feeds and everything and just kind of I'm actually staying. I didn't want to look at the Free Ballers feed because most of that is like Miami Heat stuff, and I'm like I don't want to fucking look at this stuff right now. I'm staying on my own feed where like all the Celtics people can we can just complain to each other and stuff, and then just talk about what we're gonna do the next game and like calm each other down and be like, okay, don't worry about it. It's just one game. It's not a big deal, right? They're a good team. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals for a reason. They make adjustments. They're not stupid. So.
Well, welcome to the Free Ballers podcast. We're one half celebration and one half crisis management.
It's a little dramatic, but it was. I was in a crisis watching it. Let's get Bam's block out of the way. I can't. That was
unbelievable.
Admittedly, it's absolutely unbelievable. It's completely clean. No complaints. Obviously, I'm not going to say it was a foul or anything. Completely clean block. That's the same way.
Can't believe he didn't hurt his wrist or something. It was nuts.
Either one of them, for that matter. That's the same way I felt when Marcus Smart blocked Norman Powell at the end of Game 7 against Toronto. It was just timely, perfect. It's just one of those blocks. So, no, that's good. And I was thinking to myself, we're going to see a lot of those tweets that say in this series about like Jalen, Bam, Tatum, Harrow, and they're all going to start with these guys did this in this game and they're only such and such age, right? Like I already saw one about Bam. Look, he just blocked, he just saved game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals as the underdog team with a block. He's only 23. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So
Yeah, lots of young, talented players in this entire series on both sides.
But as much as he was like the last second hero, Jimmy is the guy who got you there. The 3-pointer that he hit, which is kind of like a wild play. He just kind of happened to catch it at the end and throw it up.
I was losing my shit. It was so stressful. If this is any indication of what this series is like, I think we're going 6 or 7 games here.
Has to, yeah. I'm just, I was expecting. I'm what I'm really glad for. It didn't end with some foul that could have gone either way. It could go. You know what I mean? It wasn't like one of those it was pretty clean the whole way, and there was nothing you had to argue about. I was a little. I think Tatum kind of went straight up on that Jimmy layup, that Jimmy drive at the end there. Yeah. I think Tatum went straight up and didn't foul him, to be honest. So, but that's whatever.
There's that one, and then there's the game wouldn't even have went to overtime without Kemba kind of pushes DJJ, who then falls into Tatum. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of a questionable one, but Spo had already used his challenge at that point. So there was and I felt bad for DJJ because he was only in for like those 2 little plays. Like he's kind of a specialist at this point. And yeah, the refs tried to muck it up there.
Yeah,
but I'm glad it didn't. Like you said, I'm glad it ended with like a basketball play. And
exactly. Yeah. And I think Tatum will go up with 2 hands next time or something if it comes down to something like that, you know. Let's not forget about the Marcus Smart grifts that he pulled at the end of the game. I was like, damn, if there wasn't a reason to love him already, like pulling something like that, if he doesn't do that, the game doesn't go to overtime at all, and you guys just win it in regulation. So
Marcus Smart was impressive the entire night, and
he was.
That was something that a big theme I feel I've been learning, and like watching the games with my girlfriend as well. It's like we're talking and stuff, and I'm like explaining things and shit, and she's like pointing out things she notices. And one thing I've been like noticing is from last series and this series with the Heat is like by design, there's gonna be dudes that are left open for 3. Like, you know, just because of strategy. Like in the Bucks series, it was Lopez because Bam is going to help off of him. You know what I mean? To do his thing. In this series, I feel like at least in this first game, it was Marcus Smart, and they helped off of Smart.
That's why he scored so many points.
Yeah, to double. Oh man, it sounds like Tyler Hero over there cooking for 3. A little baby
Sorry
Tyler.
About that, yeah. Getting some late nights, you know, sleepy juice here. So.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
sleepy time. Okay? Yeah. You sound like a man who has walked away to get sleepy time tea, but it's appropriate.
All right, I'm back. Let's.
Spo did a really ballsy defensive scheme thing where he just doubled Kemba Walker every time, no matter what. Like,
saw that.
Trapped him. And that's why Smart and a few other guys, it's like Smart and Grant Williams, it seems like they're going to be getting those looks. And,
I mean, you'll take Grant Williams looks all day, though.
Yeah, exactly. And Smart hit a lot more of them than I expected him to. And I was going to ask you, what do you think about that? Is that typical Marcus Smart, or was he just making the most out of the moment? You know,
it didn't used to be. Here's the thing with him: he used to be this guy who would just jack up threes and was not good at them. We were like, "What are you doing? Why are you shooting threes?" But he has, in the past 2 years, I want to say, he's put a lot of work into his 3-pointer. So when he makes them, I'm not really surprised anymore.
Okay,
but he will go on. He's a little streaky with it. So last game he was on fire, obviously, right? And actually in the Raptors series, he was pretty much good the whole series, to be honest. But he will have those streaks where he's missing, and he has that mentality that you normally tell a lot of shooters is like, keep shooting, right? Even if you're missing, just keep shooting. With Marcus Smart, I'm almost like, just pass it. Like, you're not expected to score. It's fine. You're the defense energy guy. And so he'll just take that one more 3 and it'll clank off. And you're like, God damn it. Just, you know.
Yeah, maybe he should have stopped there. Or
yeah, just should have stopped there, you know. But that's when he's making a bunch like that, I'm like, that's typical Marcus Smart, and then that's the reason you love him and all that stuff. So
yeah, I feel like that was definitely a choice that Spo made. You know what I mean? Was like, he's gonna live with what Marcus Smart can do for 3.
Well, and also he knows that Kemba is the guy that's cooked him in the past, so he's got to double him. Yeah.
Yeah, he decided to basically cancel out like the
main threat.
The main threat, yeah. But I think, you know, that's one of the most interesting things about this series is there's going to be a lot of adjustments because both of these coaches are really, really good, especially defensively. And, you know, I think it's funny how the flow of the game went. Like the Heat played one of their shittiest quarters. Then they played one of their best quarters. Then, you know, then they played one of their shittiest quarters again. And then they played one of their best quarters. Like, and it's almost like you can see each team, you know, like right out the gate, Brad Stevens had something going on that Spo was like, like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then it took him a minute, and then he's like, all right, okay, I see what you're doing. And then vice versa, you know. I think we're going to see a lot of that. So who knows if they'll keep up with the, you know, blitzing Kemba and having to have the other guys, you know, recover and help defense. Like, because then what happens is, you see the Heat dudes running around like crazy, you know, like trying to
get to the other shooters.
Yeah. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And when the bench guys are in, it's a little harder because they're just not as good. But when the starters are in, Jimmy and Bam, they cover that ground.
Mm-hmm. But, and they have to. Few things. So so they're doubling Kemba, but Kemba still got his points in actually, which I was kind of surprised at because lately he's been having trouble just scoring in general since he tweaked his I think it was his knee, I want to say, or his ankle in the Sixers series. He kind of tweaked it and he kind of went like downhill, but he did have like a pretty good game. One of the games, I think it was game 3 in the Raptors series, he came out and scored a bunch of points. So I'm not too worried about him. I think he's good. I don't think his injury is affecting him.
He showed some clutch. He had some awesome clutch plays where he hadn't scored in a while and just like pulled a couple of step back J's out of his ass.
But he's still going to have to show up for them to win this. Tatum did what he does, even though he got that his dunk blocked. He still scored a bunch of points. He put in 30, so he did what we expected him to do at this point, right? So really, it's like you. So I got a bunch of things I got so much I want to talk about. So again, in this series, it's going to come down to downtown Jaylen Brown to be the X factor because
he probably could have did a little more. I thought
he could have. Yeah. He was quiet. He got some points. He wasn't completely ineffective, but it's something about him when Tatum you expect to get the points and he's kind of unstoppable. Kemba is known for being the Heat killer. But if Jaylen is in there and he's being effective, now you have this 3-headed snake, right, or 3-headed dragon or whatever. That it's just like it's almost impossible to stop. And considering that Marcus Smart is probably not going to do that again, and you may not have Gordon Hayward is doubtful officially for this game 2. Jaylen Brown is again going to be the key. He was when he wasn't effective in the Raptors series, it showed in how the Celtics played. When he was effective and just really balling out, then he literally could just go out there and just be as selfish as he wants and nobody will care. It's absolutely fine. If he wants to get his points, I mean, he's good from 3. So if he's open, take him. When he gets rebounds and just runs the ball down the court and is aggressive and just takes it right to the hoop, I mean, that's fine. That's the Jaylen you want every single game, basically.
Yeah.
If you're a Celtics fan. So.
He could probably step up a bit.
Yeah. And the thing about the Raptors series that the Celtics had an issue with was their third quarters is they would come out flat in the third quarter. That's where the Raptors would take over and that's how they would lose games. We actually outscored the Heat in the third quarter. So I was thinking to myself, okay, we got this game well in hand. And this leads me to this point, and I'm trying to not be biased about this, but I want to say that the Celtics lost this game more than the Heat won it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, the Heat had to pull some shit out of their ass to get back into the game,
Right.
Like we're talking like Tyler had to hit a 3 with like about a minute to go, down.
Yes, big time 3.
Down like 5 or 6, I think.
Side note, he almost had a triple-double, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah. I'm so proud of him. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, 19.
But his 2 threes in the late fourth, as well as Jimmy's shots like that, and 1 and a 3 that he fucking just willed in. Those, and then the block. Those are pretty tough plays that they had to pull that out of their ass to get
big time plays. Yeah. The reason I say that is because the fourth quarter, I think the Celtics were up by as much as 14. By the middle of the fourth quarter, I think the lead was down to 9, and then with I think a few minutes left, it was down to 5.
Yeah, they had a lead there.
Mm-hmm. And then I forget who it was they interviewed. I want to say it was Daniel Tice, but he came out and said, "Look, we flat out stopped playing." I think they got the 14-point lead and they were trying to coast, and that's not going to work, basically. So you can't coast. You got to, if there's one lesson, if there's one like recurring theme for the Celtics, it's keep your foot on the pedal. Do not stop. Just keep scoring, And I think part of if they had Hayward in there, it's one more option that can come out and keep points scored. You know what I mean? So I think that would help there. But again, I mentioned Jaylen Brown. Like, it's not like they don't have enough weapons. If Jaylen Brown wants to be aggressive, he's got it. And the reason I say, and one of the examples I'll point to is the fact that like Jay Crowder had like a wide open three at one point, wide open. I was like, why is nobody even ran out to him? I was like, I was in absolute disbelief. And of course he nailed it. I
know exactly the one you're talking about.
And Brad Stevens must have been hanging his damn head. Like he's coached that guy before. He knows he can do that. Like he's a 3-and-D guy. That's all he does. If you leave him open, he's going to make threes, and he plays good defense. So, he even blocked Kemba at the end there, actually a clean block when Kemba drove in. So, it's I don't know. It was, that's the example I point to. Like, I think they took their foot off the pedal. So I think they could have won that game. Actually, the game really could have gone either way, to be honest. There was just some freaky plays. I mean, if Tatum makes that dunk, the game is tied and goes into another overtime. I mean, who knows? It's up in the air.
Any number of like that Jimmy 3 or one of those Tyler 3s.
Yes.
Like it was a close one. No, I don't know if we'll see any blowouts in this series, because I don't
think so either. Yeah,
both teams like don't fucking stop trying.
Mm-hmm. What was I gonna say? I had something else. There's so much to talk about here. Just a crazy game. Well, okay, so I guess I'll just go with where my stream of consciousness is going. So Miami, this is a extremely emotional, extremely close win. Do they make adjustments? I mean, obviously, I think obviously they'll make adjustments for game 2, but what do they do?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I think you're going to want to try to see if you can get Duncan Robinson going in some way, keep trying to see. He had some quick foul trouble that he basically couldn't fucking stay on the court. And that was something I realized about Tyler Hero that I was thinking about while I was watching the game. Is like, man, this dude's playing like upwards of 40 minutes, and he's staying on the court. He's not Ron Artest out there or anything, but he's becoming less and less of a liability like as time goes on. And then you have someone, Duncan Robinson, who's like a little bit older than him, and he can't hang, as the intensity starts to get up, Duncan Robinson has some trouble on the defensive end. But yeah, I think they would like to see him get going, because he can make the game a lot easier for them if he's hitting those really far ass threes.
He was the one guy I was telling you, and when we were doing like our little preview, like that's the one guy I'm most scared of is Duncan Robinson on the team. And so I wonder, I mean, I'm just maybe me and Brad Stevens are in sync, but maybe it was by design that they were trying to get him in foul trouble early.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, looking at the Heat starting lineup, I would definitely target him like every time down because he's the weakest link defensively, and he's not a bad guy to take out of the game.
Yes, for sure,
such a good shooter. But yeah, adjustment wise, I don't really know. I think Spo might also consider maybe a little less Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn didn't really do a whole lot that I liked, really, other than he might have been good to match up against Kemba, but yeah,
I did see some interesting. Speaking of that, actually, I did see some interesting moments where something happened that I wasn't expecting to happen. Was they were creating mismatches where Kemba was having to guard Jimmy, and Jimmy was just bullying him in the post. It happened a few times, actually, and
yeah, that was on purpose for sure.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, he's much smaller, so he can't really guard him. So that's easy every time. So I don't know. I mean, as far as Celtics adjustments, I guess you can try to make it so that doesn't happen, but at the cost of what? Like, you really got to stay home on the other guys. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tricky one too, because Jimmy's really looking for that pass too. So like, if they don't want Kemba to switch, there might be somebody open or whatever. Like, but I don't know. I can't really see a whole lot to change, but I know these coaches will whip something out that we're not expecting.
I think the Celtics really they did enough to win, but just took their foot off the pedal, to be honest. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to reinvent the wheel with how they go out in game 2. I mean, beyond just saying, look, you guys gotta, once they're down, you gotta keep going, just keep going right at them, because otherwise they're gonna fight.
And then you have Kawhi and Paul George just fucking shit in the bed, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, I'm loving the Nuggets, but I'm still like,
yes.
What the fuck? Like, this is
supposed to
happen.
That's a good thing to mention first and foremost, is that I think a lot of people are focusing on the fact that the Clippers collapsed, but let's actually give some credit to the Nuggets for being, the team that came back from being down 3-1 twice in an NBA playoff. I mean, this is a legit team now. They're not like a cute little, team out of Colorado. So they deserve some credit for being in the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers.
Yeah, man.
So
yeah, they're cute and funny, and they like keep joking about how there's no pressure and stuff. And I mean, damn, gotta love them.
You do, yeah. Jokic is doing stupid things on the court, and Jamal Murray's getting ahead on Instagram, and they're a fun team. You gotta love it.
It's true. We'll see. I think at this point, like, all the options for the finals are interesting, like, because there's only really one like kind of played out one, which is like Lakers Celtics.
Yeah,
but that's classic, you know what I mean? And then all the other ones are kind of like, what? Like every possible one.
I've seen some takes where people are saying like, how is the NBA going to sell a Heat Nuggets NBA Finals?
Yeah,
I was like,
that's going to be awesome.
From a basketball point of view, like if you're a basketball purist and a basketball nerd, I mean, I'd still watch that. I think it would be awesome to watch Jokic do some shit on the court. Jokic and Bam. That's just amazing matchup.
Passing big men out there, like that would be rad.
Yeah, no, it's gonna. I mean, that's gonna be a great series too. The Western Conference Finals, I think.
But yeah, the Clippers, man, just like no chemistry, and apparently earlier in the playoff series, like Paul George and Harrell got into an argument during a timeout and stuff, and like Harrell is telling Paul George that like he's always right and everything. It doesn't sound good.
He's always right.
Yeah, like that he thinks he's always right.
Oh, okay, yeah. I heard somebody say the Lakers are a team, the Clippers are coworkers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think, I think that this is now, we're seeing like the Kawhi, like the bad side of him, I guess, right? Like where his like emotionless robot basketball tactics are not helping a team win. He's still an amazing player. He's won a chip and finals MVP in 2 different conferences. So, I don't care what anybody says. He's an amazing player. So, but he's going to have a moment of, he needs to kind of take a moment here and figure out what he does going forward. So,
yeah, I wonder if he's thinking like, damn, I should have stayed in Toronto.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cause Toronto, I mean, still came within, they came pretty close to getting to their finals. Yeah. So, and Paul George just needs to go out there and practice corner threes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
He needs to do
those hit the backboard. Come on,
way
man.
Off P.
I love that nickname, by the way.
Yeah.
Way Off P is awesome.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. He did it to himself.
I actually looked at the trade that they made with OKC to get him, and it's so lopsided now.
Yeah,
it's so
like
bad.
Danny Ainge shit. It's like a real highway robbery. Like,
it was a fleecing. Yeah, it's everybody's kind of calling it the greatest collapse like ever in the history of the NBA. I don't know if I'm down with that. That's a little dramatic. I mean, the Warriors losing to Cleveland 3-1. You know what I mean? That was a little.
I think that
was better, but
that definitely fits that bill more appropriately.
And plus, it's still the Clippers. Like it's kind of like we are who they thought they were, type of a thing. You know?
Yeah. It turns out that making the Clippers awesome is really hard, and people are
Yeah.
trying now. Like everyone's trying. They got the better owner, they got better players, they got a better coach. Like it's still they're still the fucking Clippers.
Still the Clippers. Yeah, they're still the little brother. Is Doc losing his job?
So I'm seeing reports and shit that they're gonna keep him. You know, but
wow,
I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. Because I think the thing going on there might be that Kawhi likes him. You know, that might
he's a great coach. I mean, I understand any player liking him. I don't know, but it's up to Ballmer at this point, really.
Yeah, we'll see. Because those reports just are from fucking one day since they lost. You know, it's like
that's true.
Come on, guys.
Well, like, Mike D'Antoni didn't wait.
Yeah, he was all disrespected. He was like waiting for a phone call from the owner, and it like never came. Mm-hmm. And then he got all mad, and he was like, "Well, fuck it, tell them I'm not even interested anymore." So he did it himself. He was just like, "I'm not coming back."
I mean, his resume is he'll find a job quick. I'm not even worried about that. But interesting, yeah, that he didn't even want to go back. I think there's a toxic situation in Houston anyway. So.
Yeah, I saw some shit where like he had people looking into like age discrimination. So like I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but allegedly like his people were looking into that. And so it would be funny if they hired like some really like the youngest coach ever or some shit. Like,
oh wow,
that would be pretty funny.
He thinks they were discriminating against him because of his age.
Yeah, that's something I saw.
Like, that's interesting. It's a juicy little tidbit.
Got it. Kemba Walker giving the Boston Celtics a 4-point lead. Dragic downhill, and Dragic with a fortuitous roll. For the win, Tatum! And we'll go to another 5 minutes of play.
We'll see where the rest of this series goes. It's really exciting. That shit was
going to be fun. I don't see any blowouts.
So stressed out at the end of that game. It's not
same.
I noticed that Deuce Tatum, he's a little older than I thought he was. So I don't know.
Oh yeah? Are you talking like a baby?
Yeah, he's not really a baby anymore. So, you know, something to think about.
Oh, you think his energy wasn't? It's a little lessened than what you thought it was going to be. Oh,
he wasn't even watching the game. He was all like on his iPad and shit.
You just
don't care, dude.
You just fucked up. You just fucked up big time. You do not throw Deuce. No one throws Deuce under the bus like that, man. You just fucked up big time. Yeah.
I think Deuce knows that it's Heat and 6. I think
you're just lucky. You're just lucky he had his head down when Bam blocked that dunk. Oh man.
Yeah, Deuce wasn't even watching.
Listen,
Deuce Tatum was actually mad that he didn't make that like shot when he was on the ground, and he had to get up from off the ground and take that.
Dude, I was almost like, oh come on, that's gonna go in. Like it was like if that went in, oh my god, I would have jumped out of my damn seat.
That was terrifying. But because he didn't make that, I bet Deuce Tatum was pissed because he's like, oh, there's more of this shit. Oh my god.
Oh man, you don't want to be sending. Don't send bad vibes Deuce's way, man. I'll tell you what.
It's true. He's named after the Paul Pierce moment in the finals.
That took me a second.
Celtics lore.
Nah, his name would be winning then. So yeah, that's all. That's all we need to focus on there.
That was a low blow.
The plate of ribs that Paul Pierce ate before that game is in the Hall of Fame, man. So I don't even want to hear it.
It's got to be. Are the Lakers going to easily beat the Nuggets?
I can't say anybody can easily beat the Nuggets anymore. They've had 2 straight 7-game series. They are just not. They're not easily beatable. So it's I don't even think the Lakers are that are good, that are so good that they're going to just like sweep Denver or 5-game Denver out of here. No, yeah,
I agree. I think the Nuggets can beat them. Well, on that note, I'd just like to say that Jay Crowder and Kelly Olynyk are the greatest Celtic duo of all time.
Motherfuckers. The fact that we have to play them. God damn. That's the only way it could have been worse, is if like Kelly Olynyk had blocked Jason Tatum's dunk.
I know. I was wondering if like him, I was thinking about it when Crowder had that one wide open 3. I was just like, damn, like the disrespect, like, bro, that's your old team. And they're just like, just shoot it, bro. We don't give a fuck.
I was very surprised by that. Like, you can't pull that shit in the finals. I don't care who it is.
And then he made it. Props to him for making that, because then if he missed it, you know,
it looks like shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they're all going to laugh at you.
Yeah. It didn't surprise me he made it. I literally, like, I saw him with the open 3 and I'm like, why is nobody, I said, why aren't you guarding him? Like, you have to run at Jay Crowder on the 3-point line. So yeah, that's about all I'll say. I've put game 1 in the past. So that's that.
Yeah. It's just one game. We'll see what happens.
I'm sure there's some stat out there though about like the team that goes up 1-0 in a conference final wins the series, some crazy thing like 70% of the time or something like that.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I don't know. I'm going to look it up because I don't want you to get too excited.
Yeah, but I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's something like that, but you never know. Anything can happen. It was just like a one basket victory right there.
Yeah, for sure. Pressure's on the Celtics, though. Obviously, you don't want to go down 2-0 because then it's really, now you're having to dig out. So
yeah, road warriors, the Heat taking that tough road victory, game 1.
Yeah, right. I'm sure.
Harsh Boston environment.
Yeah. Oh my God. If it had been in Boston, man, I'm not going to woulda, shoulda, coulda, but yeah,
that part sucks. Sucks.
It does. It is what it is, though. Because I don't like the Miami crowd either, to be honest. But they leave at like the beginning of the 4th quarter, no matter what the score is, anyways, because they don't know anything about basketball. So
hopefully the Heat have like a nice blowout going at that point, you know, so then he can just like beat the traffic.
I hope there's a game on Sunday, so like they're all just like watching the Dolphins instead. You know what I mean? all their energy is focused on that. That's all they really care about in Miami is the Dolphins, anyway. So
oh man, I don't know. It used to be that way. I also would like to say props to the bubble, because I didn't think that it was going to last this long, and it's like lasting pretty good. It's doing pretty good.
What do you mean?
Like, I thought the virus was going to get all up in this bubble, and and it hasn't, you know. So like
the only thing that was the Daniel House situation, really.
Yeah, and he had to go to his Daniel House. He's done.
And the interesting thing about that, I think Harden said, yeah, that completely affected us, and that's part of why we lost. And I was like, well, it's not the only reason why you guys lost. Yeah.
Other than the fact that I'm the leader of this team, and me and Westbrook were straight trash.
Yeah, straight trash.
We were pretty sad that Daniel was gone.
You see the video when like I think the Rockets were down like 15, or maybe it could have been like 20 something points at some point, and like the Lakers decided to double Russell Westbrook, and the ball went out of bounds or something like that, and he's like, y'all better double me, and LeBron just like laughed at him.